What is up everyone, it's TK and welcome back to the channel. Today I have this new strategy here for you that YETI was kind enough to share it with me before he uploads it on his channel, so I can give it a go, I can test it out and see how this army works in Legends. Now what I did was actually switch up and tweak a few things from his original army. So I told him as well, like, he had 2 Electro Titans and I was like, you know what, I could do with 1 Electro Titan because it's mainly to kill the CC, so 1 is decently enough. I know it's mostly for like sometimes tanking, but what I really realize is that Super Yetis need to die, and even with 1 Electro Titan, in some of these attacks, we're gonna have 4 Super Yetis at the end, so it's kind of insane. Now, what I did was taking 1 Ice Golem and a few Headhunters with some more cleanup on this army instead of that 1 extra Electro Titan. And also one thing he mentioned to me, and I want to kind of mention it back to you guys, is the skeleton spells. So mainly the skeleton spells are there to basically tank, but he has 1 extra invisibility, which with that skeleton spell you can actually use it to activate those invisibility towers, and that's why he has no queen with giant arrow, which is quite interesting to me. So that's why, like, that was the first thing, like, I think I asked. I was like, is it not really like really bad against those invisibility towers? And he told me like, no, this is how you can activate them. And I was like, you know what, I actually agree. So we're gonna dive into some of these attacks and see what I did and how this strategy works. So we're here on a base which has 2 double poisons, and honestly, it's looking a bit weird. Now, originally what I wanted to do on this base was I wanted to go from around this area to dive into the base, but the wall breaker drops wouldn't be good. They wouldn't have a good angle. So that's why we're going to choose to go into the town hall, just like a Roach Rider attack, which means we need to funnel one of the other sides. And obviously, you want to funnel this side because the other side is where the queen and the siege barracks will have to be. So RC charge, everyone already knows it, and if you're new to the RC charge, make sure you do some practice. Let the RC take a slight bit of damage, so then you deploy the invisibility and you're gonna have perfect timings. Obviously, I didn't have perfect timings on RC, but it's still a decent RC walk going into that fire spitter. This is where I got a bit greedy because of my RC walk. We got a lot of damage onto our Fox, which you're going to see on other attack. I'm going to tell you, you don't need to be greedy on most of the cases, and with 5 invis, you will always get the value you're looking for. So now, what we're going to do is to go with Siege Barracks and Queen. We're going to have skeleton spells. Actually, I'm going to have 2 skeleton spells on this area because of the insanity amount of damage with the minion prints. And now we're going with the main push into the base. Do not forget your wall breakers. This is one of the key things I'm going to tell you, because we are all used to the Root Rider attacks and we are like, okay, they can break through the wall. But no, the Yetis need the wall breakers. So if you don't break them, they will go around, which in this case, my wall breaker was actually frozen for a very long time. So I had bad timings. I wish I would have dropped it earlier, but we're going to kind of adapt. So few wizards on the top side forcing the main army into the base, and this is where I can see the RC ability, so I have to pop the Warden ability because I want to keep the RC so she can take down those few extra defenses with her ability. Going with another wallbreaker to give Yetis access to the next compartment. Unfortunately, the king went outside, but we still got 4 Yetis and the queen inside the core. This alone is crazy. It's crazy and it's crazy. Now, just make sure whenever you have the king on the outside, just make sure you don't rush with his abilities. Sometimes you can wait and he's going to be in a decent area. So when you pop the ability, you can open multiple layers from still the outside and you won't end up time failing. Don't rush it if you don't have to. So we're going to have some minions for the cleanup, of course, so we can speed through time. And obviously, with the queen and the giants and the mirror, there is nothing the base can do. We still even got the yak. This is absolutely crazy. One of our Yetis is slowly started to die. Like, this is what I mean. Like, the army itself is actually so powerful. Like, I told it to. I was like, you know what? I'm actually impressed. Like, it's actually working better than the armies that I was testing. And yeah, I mean, look at this. That was the main original area that I wanted to kind of enter the base with my king and the Yetis. But it didn't happen, and it is what it is. So now we are a bit low on time, but still, we're going to get this triple and move on to the second attack. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this method of approaching the bases. It's usually the Root Rider approach, but we're going to see what happens in the next. So here we are on this base, and they have a very heavy rage tower. So Obviously, you can't RC walk that, so you need to go through it with your troops. And I didn't see a good wall breaker area to get to the core. The only way is the town hall. So we're gonna again dive into the town hall. The last like few attacks, and if you watch the blueprint video, I don't know if my video gonna go earlier than blueprint, but I also recorded a few attacks there. And we're mostly going into the town hall, but a few ones we are gonna dive in the opposite side. So don't worry. Now, one thing you need to do whenever you want to dive into a town hall is be ready with a redirection invisibility spell. This means if your RC chooses to go into the town hall or into the Teslas, you need to make them invisible in a way so she moves away from it. A very late invisibility by me, so that's why we took so much damage on the second one. Also, here is where you don't want to risk anything, and yeah, my RC didn't go for a spitter, so I'm just gonna keep her out of the way. One thing you need to do again now is the siege barracks and the queen. Just make sure you're tanking something, because obviously you need a little bit of a funnel between your siege barracks and the queen so they can get better value. Ice Golem, and this is where I tell you like the army is more versatile, my edited version of Itsu's army, and you can have Ice Golem, you can have these headhunter drops super early to get the good value. Wallbreaker on the right side, this is where I should have dropped the skeleton spell on the right side, and I didn't, so my queen is gonna have a lot of trouble there. So now we can see going with the wallbreaker, unfortunately the wallbreaker didn't target what I wanted it, so it's gonna be a bit bad behind these walls. My queen is gonna go too much forward, but it's still gonna be fine. Like you can see with Yeti, sometimes it doesn't look like, oh my god, what is happening, and then it's triple. You can see like Yetis, this is what Yetis are there for. It's crazy. Now with the yak, you can see how we're beating through the wall instantly. It's crazy that it's happening like this, but the king ability with the earthquake boots in the core always will give you the value, and the RC ability right behind him. The RC will stay back with that rocket spur, get the kind of, I would say, major crazy heavy defenses, and you don't have to necessarily go through them like at all. The RC can just help you out from a further range. And we got, I think, is it 3 or 4? Please tell me it's 4. I believe it's like yes, I believe it's 4 super Yetis. And we dive into a rage and poison tower, and we dived into king and also minion prince and a monolith on the back end. This army, I'm telling you, like, you can rely on it. I personally wouldn't now switch from my root rider, but this army is definitely really interesting. Next up, we have a core town hall base, something that you see a lot in Legends. And guys, whenever you see this base, check the clan castle. If the clan castle is way too much further away from the majority of the base, don't dive into it. Dive like a bit further from it, unless you can see like getting the monolith is important, but obviously it's a bit tough because there could be Teslas to redirect your RC and you're like there pulling half the CC, not getting the monolith. Just go for small funnels, guys. It's not about value, it's about funnel. So now what I wanted to do, because we're going opposite side, we have more freedom. So what I wanted to do was to get at least the Inferno or that, the Ricochet Cannon area. This would have given us such a good funnel. But my RC actually ends up going really well. And this is something you can't control, so be ready to adapt. Look at this. This is where you shouldn't get greedy. Go back-to-back invis because there is minion prints and there's a town hall. It's heavy damage. But with the back-to-back invisibility, you can still get that value that you would, but without you like losing the fox. It's crazy. Just don't be greedy. It's the first lesson of Legends League. If you are greedy, you're going to mess up somewhere. So don't be greedy. Going with the Ice Golem again, as I said, this Ice Golem first method is amazing. How it can buy time for your troops, healers, and that king to dive into the base, and you can then do your wall breakers, you can do whatever you want. Obviously some people do early king ability, some people keep it. I personally like to have it and keep it and pop it at the end, so I pop warden ability earlier and it works really well. You can let the yak do the thing. You can let the yak just absolutely crush the wall. And obviously, now triple ice golem is going to hurt us and my RC especially. So I'm going to go with the freeze on the monolith. I was hoping my troops would have come in front of my RC by the time that the freeze is expired. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. Now I'm going to have an angled rage so my RC can use it and my troops can still use it going into the next compartment. Look at that rage. Guys, these are the little things that are important. The healers are also using that rage even now. It's crazy. Now, I'm going to let the king to go forward, and I'm going to pop his ability right there so we can get everything open. Obviously, I could have waited a bit more, but because I have the yak, I didn't care about the last compartment. The yak can easily open it up. Some headhunters and clean up for the back end, and obviously we have the enemy and my own queen ability. I'm saying enemy queen. Guys, whenever I want to say a queen, I always say enemy queen. I don't know why. It's all of my videos. It's insane. But we're going to get this triple. Again, just watch out on time. You can't really risk your RC walk in a way that it's too long and then you're like looking at the base, looking like, okay, where do I start? That's when you're going to time fail. And this attack is coming a bit close as well, but we still got so much to crush the back end. And obviously, as I said, the strategy is super powerful. Again, shout out to Itsu. We're going to dive into one of my war attacks that I did last night, and it's going to be pre-recorded as well. So let's dive in. So here we are on the war layout. Now, this attack, I want to show you that things don't go necessarily to plan. So I'm going to have RC walk on the side of the town hall, and we're going to dive into the town hall itself with our main army. So you need to get one of the sides, of course. And this is the side I was going to choose from. We can go with some nice invisibilities and get very, very good value on this side if the RC doesn't choose the wizard tower, which I believe she actually doesn't. So yeah, okay, I made it invisible. All right, okay, I see what's going on, guys. Don't worry, it's still fine. Now, one little tip: whenever you pull the clan castle with your RC walk, guys, don't like start your attack. You can pull it to the side and kill it with the same Electro Titan that is in your army, just because that is what the Electro Titan is mainly for. So if you pull the CC, you can just kill it on the side. Now, I wasn't able to get that monolith just in time, but it is what it is. We're going to pull the CC. We can kill it with Electro Titan and also one wizard. Make sure you do that because obviously you don't want the Ice Hound to mess up your attack. So this is where again you can use skeleton spell, you can use ice golems, just a start up thing so you can dive into the base. And I'm going with the queen, Pekkas, I'm going with the headhunter, loons, healers, king, and the RC, everything down the middle. Don't forget the wall breaker, as I said. And this is where things go wrong because the base is not funneled properly on the lower side. But what does that mean is that, guys, sometimes the bases of Town Hall 17, there is not much in the core itself. It's actually surrounding of the core. So I want to tell you this. Do not panic. And this is a good thing because RC obviously chooses the defenses always. You can actually use the RC epic equipment, the rocket spare, to get the value that your troops mainly missed. And now from my troops on the left side, you can see how much on the outside they are. But the RC got the ability done and dusted and the base basically crushed. So the troops, all of them are still alive, I believe. I believe we have 4 Yetis if I'm not mistaken, maybe 3. I'm not quite sure yet, 3. So keep the king ability. I wanted the king ability to be popped on the multi-archer tower, so I'm going to delay it a bit so we can open both of these back-end compartments. Absolutely crushing this war layout right here. And obviously there's still a clan castle left, but you can do some minion cleanups onto that clan castle. Just make sure you are looking around the base. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this army. Again, shout out to Itsu for sharing this army with me, and hopefully he likes the new changes I made to his army. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys later in the future. Take care and peace.